This is Divine. Thank you for tuning in. Today, we, I want to go over the MK Ultra. The, if you got into the files, they got recently disclosed by Congress, uh, by Paulina Rubio, I believe. So the MK Ultra is known to have been existed in a mind control program from the government since a long time ago. I believe the 70s, still ongoing, but they have different technology now. Also, from the MK Ultra files, it is believed they used MK Ultra people to do the shootings in the schools, etc. So that's why they say it was fake. It's not that the shooting didn't happen. In some instances, it didn't. There were actors and actresses. I forgot what there's a specific name for them. And some of them actually happened. People actually died, but the criminal was sent by the government to push narratives such as anti-gun laws. Because if we're a disarmed nation, we can't fight back, etc. This is when they were trying to bring about communism, full-on communism, into society without anyone noticing. The way they also use MK Ultra now. I mean, before they were believed to have the UFO, the people that were taken by aliens, and then they confirmed they were taken by alien. They saw the light. Supposedly, many MK Ultra people were taken that way, and then the lights they saw was inside a government facility. But this is like way back in the days. The technology has grown towards signals now. And some people believe from the files. And these administration confirm a lot of it that they can just send a signal. And they use the 560 towers to send those signals. Along with Wi-Fi, etc. They also use those signals as a way to spy on you. But that's a whole different story. An AI can like make up the structure based on the signal. So the signal with AI makes the spying more accurate. But talking about the MK Ultra, I want to touch base because I think it touches two subjects: the what they call the archons, how they try to mind control people. Also, in terms of religious belief, what they call demons trying to control people, how they enter your body. I think it's the same, different wording, because whoever is doing this, whoever controls government, which we know the government, the person that we see on TV is just a puppet. Like whoever is behind the curtains actually controlling government. They think they have the ability to sending demons. Um, so it's believed that they have been studying the occult for many decades. And they keep these secrets. Um, so they feel like they can control demons here in a sense. And they can also control technology to be used in a negative way or a demonic way, for lack of better terminology. So, staying in this subject, the way is they send a signal, a wave. Remember, your thoughts emit waves, scientifically proven. Your heart emits magnetic waves. That's how you magnetize things. Your attraction is in the heart space, not the mind. The mind is the creative space. But they are able to send signals into your brains And you can receive thoughts. They're not your own. And that's how it works. Both the demonic attachment or just MK Ultra control, and they may intertwine, they may be the same, or they may have copied the MK Ultra, the technological process, from the spiritual demon possession process and put it in, like I said, I believe science to be the materialization of spirit. So they materialized it and put it into technology. Yeah. So the way you avoid both the demon exposure to demonic attachment, or the demon don't start full on attachment right away. They send signals and they see if it sticks to you. The more you say yes and you receive the demonic signals, then the more attachment you give it to it. You give it. So, like I said, choices are important. Like what you choose to think, it's important, down to what you choose to believe, what you choose to entertain in your mind regularly. It all forms your legacy, your life, your testimony to God, or your universal attraction, however you want to put it. So, to avoid both MK Ultra signals, which is very similar to the demonic possession, starts with awareness. So, when you have enough awareness, in the beginning, for me, it was really hard because I was the type of person who had anxiety. I was always thinking, my mind was always rushing. So it was hard to build awareness because it requires you to like calm your mind, bring yourself to center, and stay in the heart space and not the mind space, and not let your mind just run on its own. And that takes awareness because the first, just you can't stop it because you can't fight with what your mind has going on. You can only watch and observe. Take information from what your mind's thinking, like what's constantly going through your mind. So that's the observation process where you're observing and learning about yourself. Like what's in my mind? What am I thinking? Why was I thinking that? When you learn to take a step back and observe the mind and not let the mind drag you through its space. Rather take a step back and observe it. Let it run free, but observe it. And then question, oh, why was I thinking about that? And then start questioning what was I going through, and start to rationalize. Were they your thoughts? Or were just they random? Or a reaction from something that happened external? Sometimes it's a reaction to something that happened externally. Sometimes you notice somebody just came by, dumped their emotions on you, their thoughts on you, and you carry that with you for the rest of the day because it stays in your mind running. But since you're not aware, you're not observing your mind, you didn't see it. So it's the same. Don't let people dump their crap on you, not their emotions. They do emotional dumps. Sometimes don't let them. It's not yours. The care is not you. Don't keep it. Don't hold it. It's not yours, and let them go. And avoid talking to people like that. They start giving me headaches, like physical headaches. So my body started, as I grew awareness, my body started reacting physically to people like that. So you just don't. It's not mine. And no. That's the beginning steps. You observe, you take a step back. So now, if you're a little bit more aware, you already done the observing and you're in the awareness moment, then you can start focusing. Control is not a good word. Focus is a better word. You want to start focusing where your attention's going. So if you catch yourself thinking about something that is really not important, and sometimes the mind does that, you let it go quickly. You don't try to stop it. You just let it go quickly. You notice, and then you just insert on purpose a thought that you want to think. And then you do it. And every time you catch yourself randomly thinking about things that do not matter in your life right now and the goals you want to achieve and the things you have going on for you, you insert. You don't try to stop that thought process. You simply insert a thought that is directed towards what your goal is. Because at the end of the day, you want to be focused. A focused mind is key. So if you're the one directing your mind, the external signal, such as MK Ultra program signals, tower signals, demon signals, cannot enter you without you having the awareness and the ability to redirect it. So the way these things work, either is the government program with signals, or it's an actual spiritual demon. Like I said, I truly believe technology is the materialization of the spiritual. So they work very similar. It's like the belief in God, our magnetism, it's all happening in signals. And we have Wi-Fi signal. It's technology that works, and we know it works, but we also know, some of us, that our natural technology, God-given, works. Our magnetism from the heart works. Our signals in our brains work. It's just the same way. So we usually work on people who are unaware, people who don't have the practices or the practices of maintaining awareness, maintaining the one who observes, the self who observes, rather than becoming the mind. So that's a very important step. Being able to observe, stand away, and then observe yourself. See yourself for who you really are. That would mean you observe your thoughts, you observe your emotions, you observe how they um respond to one another. Because your emotions can be created from the mind, and sometimes the emotions come first, and then it creates uh, movies and thoughts in your mind. So it's important that you learn about your internal processes. Because if you're not aware, how do you know there is a signal being sent? And you're picking it up and you're reacting to signals that are not your own mind, that is demonic and negative in nation, or has negative in nation, or um have their own narratives. Because if the government is sending the signal, they have their own narratives. It's to use it for something. So you're either gonna be the product of a government program. I don't know who's controlling it now, if somebody else is controlling, but someone's product via some signals, or demon's product via demonic possession and signals. So again, back to my previous videos, I said about choices, how important choices are, because it's a choice you make of awareness every day. It's a daily choice. I'm gonna be aware. I'm gonna watch my mind. I'm gonna take control. And control is a bad word. I'm gonna stay focused on what I'm thinking. I'm gonna be more focused on where my life should be going. I want to be more focused on all those things. And you have to maintain that for your growth. And as you direct your mind, direct your emotions, direct everything that is you, then you can go into creating the life that you really want. And at the end of the day, you're the creator of your life for the most part. Unless you have external people, you know, holding a grudge on you and decided that you're their enemy just because you're a happy person who just wants to be a good mother, raise your children. Like in my case, like I said, when you're dealing with very low vibration people, they will always make a mess out of things because they are not in the same place as you. They don't see life the way you see life. It's just not the same. So they will lie, they will cheat, they'll manipulate, they'll use the system for fraud. You know, our great systems that are made for American citizens who don't think that way. American citizens don't go to a legal courtroom trying to use the system to commit fraud. Those are criminals. And usually, you know, they're these kinds of people. And so we need to create, and we do have, what is the FBI and the DOJ, but they don't seem to act fast enough. Because there's so much fraud, there's so much corruption and fraud going on. You know, we need them like yesterday. I needed them yesterday. I need them right now too. I mean, yesterday, now, like anytime, ASAP, you know. So unless that is going on, you have some sort of similar situation like this, then it's all on you. It's all on whether you are aware or choosing to be aware, whether you're choosing to be focused and intentional. That's a very good word. Intentional with your thoughts, with your feelings, your emotions, in the direction of your day, of your time, of your life. So I wanted to touch base on that because the MK Ultra came out and there's a lot of people acting like they had to have demonic possessions. And like I previously said, the demon's characteristic is of a master manipulator. And how many people are here embodying the spirit of the devil as master manipulators? I have my own personal case, but I know I'm not the only one. So we're seeing this, and it's because we went to the fake positive ideology. But again, closing your eyes and pretending that the monster doesn't exist does not make the monster go away. If the monster's in front of you, you have to handle it. Like you can't close your eyes and a unicorn's gonna appear. It's not how things work. So I want to bring us back to reality while still doing uh spiritual work based on reality, because reality still exists. We're still in a 3D world, but the way you move forward from 3D to 5D is through self-awareness. It's through your internal processes, through your choices, what you're choosing to consume. And consumption means everything you consume, from what you drink, what you eat, where you shop, what you're buying, what you're choosing to wear, what you're choosing to watch, what you're choosing to put on, from everything. So your intentions have to be really clear and real direct based on where you want to be in life. And that's how you start the process of manifesting, the process of creation. And then you go higher because then you want to have the clean purpose, like I said before. You don't want to go into the path of, oh, I just want to get to the life I want to get. And if I'm gonna step on everyone and I'm gonna lie to everyone, I'm gonna commit fraud. That is not the process of closing the gap in the light. You're going about in the dark. So there are ways to get what you want in life, but if you want to do it in the process of 5D, which is the light, some people call it the enlightenment, or the path of light, however you want to call it, the path of God, for the religious, however you want to call it. It's not about stepping on people. It's not about your what can you get from others. It's more focused on how can you not be a burden to yourself and others. And if it goes back to focusing on you, on fixing yourself, on owning yourself and your processes. And like I said, majority of the times we're in control. Unless you're dealing with those small amount of times where, you have an issue like mine, where it's outside your control and all you gotta do is beg for help, which is what I'm gonna be doing on a regular basis, apparently. Um, so but for the rest of the time, you are in control. So for majority of the time, you can just lead your life. Um, and I hope no one's stuck on a 6-year process where someone made their life's purpose to purposely and actively screw me over. And it's been going on for 6 years and I never done anything wrong, not to this person, actually not to anybody. They actually investigated apparently everybody I know. That's how far the claims were. Um, there were so many investigations on me. They believed the lies that they thought I was a criminal. And when they looked at my records, like I not. So, anyhow, so, sadly, sometimes you end up in a place where the demons consumed people, where just because you didn't get consumed by demons, you become a target. So I hope that's not your case. Sadly, it's my case still going. Sadly, because now they're attacking my minor children worse, even more innocent than I am. And yeah, I'm gonna keep asking for help and etc. But so going back to if you don't want to be targeted by these signals for MK Ultra related mind control signals or demon attachment, it starts with self-awareness and then being observant of your mind and then directing your mind so you know what's always going on. And would require awareness, you don't have to constantly be watching your mind, but create a process where you're checking in on your thought process. If you think too much, you eventually, as you become more aware and you meditate more, you will think less, like your mind will go on less rambling around. And once you can accomplish, it took me years to accomplish it, so don't feel bad that you don't get it in months. It's fine. It's not a competition. It's about gaining mastery of the process of observing. Observe your mind so your mind does not go into a rant of random thoughts that you question about how did these thoughts get into my mind? Because a lot of times it's not yours. Remember, not only we have these signals coming all around and our mind receives and sends out signal just like our heart, it's also people dump on you and etc. And you don't realize how open you are to other people's dumping as well. So having it's not control, but having direction or directing your mind, having intention, having focus of your mind going somewhere. Once you realize there's these weird thoughts, I don't know where they come from. They're not really mine. You can say reject those thoughts. They're not mine. Kindly, I reject those thoughts. They're not mine. Don't fight with the thoughts or the processes you're having. You just kindly reject it. They're not mine. And you insert a better thought. That's how you start gaining control. And every time you catch yourself, you insert a better thought where you want to stay focused on whatever it is that your goal is, or a more pleasant thought. If you're having many negative thoughts, depending where your situation is, if you're getting distracted, so you want to insert a thought that brings the direction back to if you have a goal or if you want to work on a project right now, you put the mind back to the project that you're working on. If your mind is going on negative rants, you want to replace the thought and direct it to a more positive mindset. So you create a process where you have some sort of awareness. And it's not all the time, but sometimes you get lazy, but it's like you don't want to get lazy with your mind. Because your mind is the most important. Because it's the most creative process tool that you have. So you have to sharpen that tool. It is the most important tool. Um, where your body is like your vehicle, but your mind is who drives the car. Um, so in order to keep yourself away from those signals, it's just that it's internal process. Create awareness and just observe. You don't have to go crazy about observing your mind. You just gotta create a process. I used to have a smartwatch. You can set up like timer where it vibrates on your wrist, and that's like an awakening time check yourself. You can do that, whatever works for you. I find this, I when I was going through, it's more natural as you practice. It just naturally happens because it's habitual. But in the beginning, you wanna use all the tools you have in front of you. I used to use smartwatch for that matter, also for the physical matter, getting out of the desk, etc. But that's pretty much, it's not hard. It's simple. It just requires like constant awareness and building that habit of checking in every so often throughout the day, like where you at in your mind, to make sure you're directing your creative tool to where you want to go. So it's just that constant awareness, that constant looking in, observing, and then continuing what you're doing, inserting the thoughts and directing your mind, which is directing your creative process to where you want to be, where you want to go. So you're not guided by external forces that you have no awareness of. It could be demonic in nature. It could be someone else's narrative sinking in on you. It could be somebody else's dumping their emotions on you, etc., or ideologies, whatever it may be. So that's how you stay sovereign in your mind and have sovereignty in your mind, because you're the one guiding it and directing it and controlling it in that way. I don't like that word because control is an illusion, but it's the closest thing to control you get. So that's it for today. It's a short video. Um, I wanted to maybe close out with reading another one of my writings that I wrote, and I'll close with this. I have tasted the sweet victory of a perfect, happy life a few times in this lifetime. However, this time-space reality does not seem to be made to keep sweet victories. It is a time-space reality that is founded in lacking, not abundance. Therefore, once tasted, this universe takes it away, and it does not let you keep your victories. This universe needs to evolve. It needs to support abundance, allowing us to keep our victories instead of needing us to lose it. This universe still runs on split images instead of whole ones. We can grow from love and softness. This universe is not yet ready to let go of pain. It deserves to stay this way, and the evolved beings should go into a different universe where growth from love is not only allowed, but also supported. And this goes into the Hopi prophecy, one of those prophecies where it talks about the division of humanity, and humanity will be divided. And I mentioned that previously because certain people, like I said, they literally embody the spirit of the devil itself and other demons. If you read about demonology, different demons have different aspects to them. I like learning about demons and demonology because you meet certain people, they will have those aspects of certain demons, so you can identify them. Um, Certain people, because they lack awareness, they're not sure, they have zero awareness of what's eating onto their energy, and they literally end up embodying these demons and these devils, and they will go to, like, they'll go to church, they'll say the words, but they will embody, and then their actions will show what they're really embodying, right? They can say all the words they want, they can pray all they want, they can go to church and pretend all they want, but their actions will remind everybody that we're still dealing with many very low vibration beings. And then the opposite end is some of us are so far in our journey that the split, the it's too the gap between the two groups is too much. There needs to be a split in reality and in the universe. So that's that. So I highly recommend you also let go of the need for pain. I talk many times about this in my videos, that this society seems to, and there are many videos of self-help um, that tries to push people to look at pain as something that you need, which is it's not real. You don't need it in this time space reality because this time space reality was created this way. So I call it an old belief system because we came here as fire beings in this body, not 3D body, because we want to expand this time space reality. So for us to expand this time space reality, we have to let go of the old 3D belief system. Like, we don't need pain. Like I said before, if you for any reason needing to sharpen your senses, you will create the chaos needed in your life. You don't need one of those demon embodying people um to insert themselves in your lives. You will create it yourself. Like, it will come from your creative mind process will do the work for you. The fact that we have the society that tells people that you need to accept the psychopaths and the criminals because they make you stronger somehow, it's crazy to me. It's crazy talking, and to me, that's a big no. That shows that society's going backwards. We don't need them. Um, the real growth, the ability, the real strength will always come from love, not pain. It's funny how it works, but that's how the universe is. Because God is love. Um, from love is how you're able to transmute pain into love. It's not that you need pain to know love. Absolutely not. In the duality, remember the duality of this world. Yes, this time space reality is based on duality in its 3D form, but in its 5D form is not based on duality anymore. It's based on unification. So letting go of duality would be also part of the path to 5D. But letting go of the need for pain. Um, remember, do your work, your internal work, so clearly and so um diligently that you will feel deserving because you are. In your work, your internal work should show it that you are deserving, because being deserving, it's you telling the universe, I'm ready, because you are deserving of everything you dream of, because you are. So if a psychopath comes to you, you're being arrogant because you say you're deserving. You're deserving when I say it's no, they're psychopaths. No one outside of you can judge you and say you're being arrogant because you're doing your internal work and telling God you're deserving of everything you dream of. If that's your conclusion and you've been diligent in doing your work, again, it's between you and God, and you come to an agreement that you're deserving and you haven't done anything wrong to anybody, been following, your path of light, etc. No psychopath in this earth can come and say you don't deserve what you've worked for. That's psychotic behavior. Like I said, I completely am against these thought processes that say pain is necessary for your growth. It is not. Pain is not necessary for your growth. If it was, you would create it yourself. So you don't need those psychopaths coming, trying to take away what you worked for, what God is ready to give you because you deserve it. Because it's what you're going through is between you and God. And no one in this 3D reality, in a 3D body, can come and tell you otherwise. So stay focused, stay aligned, stay in the path of light, do good. Remember, you're deserving because you have all your receipts to the universe to show how good you've been. Do your work, your inner work, do your kindness, etc. for you because you're working your relationship with God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, not because of some weird people around you. Do this for you and for the relationship you want to have with God, the universe. So that's it for me today. Thank you for stopping by. And my at Divine123, basically my channel's name at Venmo, Cash App, if you want to support me. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next one.